Here we are. Welcome to Packman Paranormal Live. I'm Packman.
I'm SQUATCHMAN.
Ernie Pack, Greg Yost. Two of the greatest of all time, right?
That's right. A legend in our own minds.
Exactly. Hello, Damien. Hello, Icy. Hello, everybody over there. That's all I see as far as comments so far. But we have had SQUATCHMAN on. Well, we had him on a couple weeks ago. It was Denise and I. We had SQUATCHMAN. We had Todd and Leanne Eskew. We had Rebel from Revelation Paranormal. And we had a kind of a round table where we were talking about our event coming up this next weekend at Fort Duffield. And we can start now. Okay, we've started. We have started. Joanne says we can start now.
Okay.
But let me bring some of these comments up real quick. When we did the show last week or last time, we had a lot of folks that were just kind of hammering him with questions, and we've had SQUATCHMAN on just me and you about a year ago.
Yes, sir.
One of our first shows here on the Get On It Network had SQUATCHMAN on once before, and I thought it was a good time to bring him back, and maybe you could get your questions to him. Yeah, I'm going to do the comments, Denise, but I got a show to run. You know, it's easier when you're just sitting in the chair over there and clicking on comments than when you're actually trying to talk. But I don't know. There's so much to talk about with the Force people and what Greg knows about the Force people, about his beliefs about the Force people. He's taught me pretty much everything I know about the Force people. As most of you know, I was not a Bigfoot person until Bigfoot found us. I'll put this one up because that's Denise. That's my sweet wife, everybody. Hello, Cobble Mountain. Hello, Eric. How are you, brother?
Eric.
Let me get these comments up so I don't get yelled at by the boss. But I don't know. You had a lot of folks wanting to talk to you the last time you were on, so I thought it was a good time to have you back.
Yeah, we had a lot of questions, and there's my good buddy Bob Watson.
There's Bob Watson.
Yeah, the newlywed just got married Saturday. Yeah, congratulations, Bob.
Congratulations. There we go right there. Joanne says, you see different ones. Can you tell a male from a female?
Yeah, depends what kind of angle and view you got of it, but yeah, just like in the Patterson Gimlin film, they knew it was a female because they had a good view of the breast, and it's not like the human male female, where the male is usually bigger, more masculine, more muscular. Because the female Sasquatches are just as big as the male. Some of them may be bigger. So I mean, unless you've seen the front view of one and see if it had breasts or not, that's probably the only way you can tell. But that's a good question because, like I said, it's hard to see. It's hard to see one to begin with, and to see what kind of if it's a male or female, that's really hard.
But you've seen them both, haven't you?
Yeah, I have seen a female, and I did see her breast, and
were you impressed?
She was taller and had like a shack body. She wasn't real big like Patty.
Yeah,
she was more trim. Mm-hmm. But more woman-like, I would say. But you never know; they're all shapes and sizes.
Right.
They're all not the same size. So I guess you got some that ain't as large as Patty was. The one I seen wasn't, and I'm sure they got some more petite than that.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Yeah, it depends how much they go to Planet Fitness.
Right. The first one that Denise and I got a good look at, we were doing that live stream at Jefferson Memorial Forest, and it came out and stood in this old gravel road that goes up to a cemetery. It's called Cemetery Road at Jefferson Memorial Forest. It came out and stood there in the moonlight about maybe 120 yards from us, and just stood there for quite a while. And that was the thing that got me. It was not as big and bulky as what I had imagined.
Right.
It was more fit, like athletic looking.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Denise says it was tall and skinny.
Tall and skinny. See, yeah. And all of them aren't all big and muscular like most people think.
Rob says he saw a female Sasquatch at Walmart today. I don't know what he was smoking.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask him.
How much do muses different from forest people? When we're talking forest people, Damien, we're talking about Bigfoot. What most people refer to as Bigfoot. So I would say that there's quite a bit of difference between them and a muse.
And Bob asked, could you see the breast on a female with the baby that was under the big tree stump?
Where you saw the female holding the baby?
Yeah.
Did you see her breast?
It's hard to say. But I seen her baby, so I assumed it was a female that just had the baby, because the baby had a blue face and everything. It looked like it was just born. That's why I got zapped that day, Bob. You know exactly the place where I showed you, a little cave area there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a female. I didn't see it in there though, but my camera picked it up. A lot of times you can't see them with your human eyes, but your camera can.
Yeah.
And I got lucky that day.
And that's something that a lot of people, on different Bigfoot groups on Facebook or social media in general, people will post these blurry pictures.
Yeah.
And of course, the naysayers and the haters will say, oh yeah, another blurry picture, another blurry video. You want to talk a little bit about why we think that might be?
Yeah, it might be hard for some people to swallow, but yeah, it's like this. Our devices, our equipment has been made with the
three-dimensional world in mind.
Yeah, three-dimensional world, stuff humans take pictures of, or animals, our families, our vacations, our cars, our houses, everything that is human. These cameras are designed to pick that stuff up. These cameras aren't designed to pick up paranormal entities such as the forest people who can turn invisible. I don't like saying cloaking because there's like 3 stages to what they do. And one is flesh and blood. Everybody knows that. Yeah, they are flesh and blood when they want to be. And then as they turn into energy, you get that look like the predator look, where it's like
just pixelated.
Yeah, pixelating like in the forest. A bunch of pixelations just mushing together. And then when they totally cloak or disappear or nothing, you can't see a trace of them, but you can hear them. And sometimes you can see their eye glow. If that's not enough to throw on the fire, they're invisible, yet they can turn their eyes on and give you a good eye view. So yeah, they're incredible beings. So to answer the question about cameras, they're not designed to pick up these type of beings.
Right.
These things are far advanced than what most would think. They're super intelligent, and they got so good of energy. It's just way up here off the chart. Human energy is way down here. There's no comparison. They're up here. We're way down here.
Yeah.
And it's no match for our equipment. And that's why there's very few good pictures of them out there. The one I got, Hey, Sandy, good to see you. But the picture I got lucky. I got a juvenile. Yeah, and that's a crystal clear picture. I call him Curious George. A lot of people will see my picture. They don't get much better.
No.
And I think the reason I got that one, because he didn't go in the cloaking mode or anything like that, because he trusted me. I mean, he was real curious. You see my long hair, my beard. Yeah, I think he was really thinking, is this one of us? Yeah, he's a young guy. So I outsmarted him. I outwitted him. And I had that little phone in my hand. And I got a great picture of one. And the other ones I got, they are cloaking. They are blurred. They're like the silver one, sitting in there. The ones that get ready to hit the rocks. I got a good picture of him. I call him Gray Boy. And it looks like he's like half in and out of disappearing. It's almost like you can see through them. But there's a lot to them. Yeah, a lot more than what people would think.
Yeah. Denise wanted me to remind everybody that next Saturday at Fort Duffield, we're going to have spirits, squatches, and stories around the campfire. Greg will be there with us. Todd and Leanne Eskew of the Black Wolf Paranormal. Rebel and Jen from Revelation Paranormal are scheduled to appear. And it's going to be a good time. Tickets are on sale now at extremeticketing.com/Packman. And then May 31st, we have the trifecta event coming up at Fort Duffield, where you're going to have Bigfoot, spirits, and UFO conversations and investigations.
And Rob.
And Rob will be here. Yeah, the
Rob,
one and only
the
Rob.
one and only,
Yes. Kaylee's coming to the trifecta. She'll be here.
Cool.
We got it. And yeah, like Rob says, that's how he got to witness the impossible. He came to one of our spirits, squatches, and stories around the campfire events last year. And
hey, Brian Dennis. Hey, the governor of Alabama. Hey, roll tide, governor. Good luck. Hey, but I'll answer your question. I'd like to go there. So since I'm on the subject of what they can do. Well, we got a friend. His name's Parker. He came up to the forest with his family. And he went back to my gifting stuff. And he came back up to the camp area. And he said, Greg, I need to talk to you. He goes, what does the name Clarence mean to you? I said, it means everything. I said, that was my uncle who has passed away back in 95, I believe. Probably a little, maybe 93. And I named my son after him. The two men that meant the most in my life, Eugene Clarence. And that was my dad's name, Eugene. So I named him Eugene Clarence. So Parker's like, OMG. He goes, you're not going to believe this, Greg. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I don't know nothing about Clarence. He goes, I was just back there. And Parker's got a gift of mind speak. The forest people, they mind speak to him. I don't have that gift. They speak to me out loud verbally, and they do other things.
That's a pretty cool gift to have.
Yeah, that's a good gift. But as far as telepathic mind speaking, it doesn't happen to me. Other people, I don't know. It doesn't happen to me. Well, anyway, Parker said that they named one of their offsprings Clarence after my son, Eugene Clarence. And his son even seen him back there. His son was standing there with his eyes wide open. And I knew something went back. Something went down pretty epic back there. And Parker has said he even asked him 3 times, because that's not a normal name for a forest person. Yeah, usually not a common name for people. So he goes, am I hearing things? Are you sure you said Clarence? And they said, yes, Clarence, son of Greg. We love them people. He was telling me all this. So it made good sense to me that he was speaking the truth. a true tongue, a true brother. And we go out to this day, we'll go out and we'll ask for Clarence, and Clarence would show himself. So if that's not a good story right there.
And folks, I mean, you know, for those of you who don't know Greg, who haven't been in the forest with Greg in the past, when he says stuff like this, you might be going, wow, this guy's really got some good weed.
Yeah.
Well, he does, but go in the forest with him and you'll see that the man speaks the truth. I mean, he delivers on what, no matter how outlandish it might sound, when you get out there in the forest with Greg, this stuff happens. You have these experiences. Rob can tell you he was blown away by he's described it as a spiritual experience when he had his first encounter out there.
Yeah. Everybody has their own way of doing. When it comes to Bigfoot, forest people, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, everybody is on a level playing field. You can do it the way you want to. And after all these years of doing it, I'm the only one that I can think of that does it with results by speaking to the forest, asking the forest people to do stuff. Everybody knows what happened tonight, Memorial Day night 2020.
That was epic.
Coming up here on 5 years now. I don't want to get into that's a long story, but I'm sure you heard it before. But I can ask the forest people to do stuff for me, push over trees, light their eyes up. I mean, Big Red follows me everywhere. He's down here at the fort. Every time I come down here, Big Red is out there in the woods.
Yeah,
I gotta ask for him. I'm like, Big Red, can you grace us with your presence? Everybody is here to see you tonight. And within seconds,
Big Red eyes.
There's Big Red out there in the forest, along with all his friends out there.
Sometimes Clarence is right there.
Clarence is there, and a lot of them with green eyes.
Amber eyes.
Amber, we got a real light show going on.
Mm-hmm. Joanne asks, do they eat meat and greens or just plants?
Well, that's a good question. I'd say they eat a little of both, but also being energy beings, what's more important to them is energy than just a raw diet. That's why these energy bowls that I show you people all the time, where they take a big tree, bend it over into the ground with a dead tree over it to pin the live tree in the ground, and you got a continuous circle of energy, and they get under these tree bowls, and you got a continuous circle of energy, and I call them energy showers, because it's all about energy to these people to do everything that they do. And as far as eating food, they have been known to eat deer. They steal people's livestock. They probably eat that. So I'd say they're
omnivores.
Whatever. Eaters of opportunity. Yeah. They eat what's available. I know of a group of them that go to the city dump over in Louisville, coming out of the Jefferson Forest. I did an intense research over there a long time ago.
Yeah, the big waste management.
Yeah, big waste management. Yeah, they were finding Bigfoot tracks in the city dump. Yeah. So look at all the food that's in a city dump. Yeah. So they eat what they can get their hands on.
Ryan Dayton asks, they do a lot of filming, and we're trying to get him down here to do some filming sometime. But coming from someone who leaves behind a camera, how do they react to that? And I'll give you my take, and then you can go take it from there. I think that having an encounter or having an experience or getting evidence is a matter of building trust with them first. Once you've built that trust, then as long as you don't violate it, you very well might have some luck. But if you're just leaving a trail camera or a trap camera out there hoping to catch them off guard, you've already violated that trust, and you're not going to get anything.
Yeah, basically. And And I found this out early when I put the recorder out there, and I got one talking on it. I played it at the Indiana Bigfoot show. One talking, he picks it up and he taps on my recorder, and they were not happy. They pulled out a big tree branch, whacked it on a tree. They basically said, don't do that again. If you want to have a trusting relationship with us, don't do that again. So I immediately instilled my 3 rules. The only 3 rules I have: no guns, no games, no gadgets. And my relationship has blossomed since then. They know they can trust me. The people I bring out there, I tell them, you can enjoy all this Bigfoot activity, but you must adhere by my rules. And another thing is no white light whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what Bob's.
I don't even like a red light, green light. A lot of people say red lights are can't see with an animal eyes, whatever. Well, I beg to differ. I was in the Navy. Out at sea, we used to go to red lights, and it wasn't that they were invisible to the naked eye, but they were harder to see. And that's out in the middle of the ocean to keep away from enemy ships. If your ship was all lit up with white lights, so the enemy would see you. And same thing with the Bigfoots. If you don't think they can see a red light or a green light, well,
I mean, they can see infrared in my opinion.
Yeah, they can see everything.
I think that they can see your red light or your green light or whatever color light you want to display.
Yeah, they're more intelligent than us, so why wouldn't they see that?
Right.
Yeah, Robert said, yes.
Said that you yelled at him for walking toward me.
You just can't go. You just got to do what I do, man. Stay around the tree stuff. I got Ernie to tell a story about 2 of his buddies he brought up there that went past the tree stuff. Now, y'all got to hear this.
I thought she was going to die.
I mean, this is just an example of what we get at my forest. And he brought a bunch of friends. A lot of these paranormal people on here. Well, he brought a whole bunch of them from Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky.
They were from all over.
Ohio.
Yeah.
All over, like 15, 20 people. And there's two women, and both their name was Sheila. And one of them was a recent retired gunnery sergeant, United States Marine Corps. Yeah, tough as nails, a tough lady. And they asked me if they could go back to the gifting stuff. I said, hey, that's what you're up here for. Go back there. I'll be having an encounter. I'll go back there every now and then. But when you got 20 people there, I can't keep going back there. I'm up by the fire entertaining people. So they asked me if they could go back there, because that's sacred ground back there to me. I pick and choose who I want back there. It's very, very sacred to me. Mm-hmm. So they went back there, and they were back there for a while. And there was another woman, Haley, about halfway down the trail, watching them. It was a moonlit night. It was 2 weeks before Christmas. This was probably 4 years ago, right? 3 years, maybe?
2020, I believe it was. Or
2021.
2020 or 2021. It was 4 or 5 years ago. Anyway, it's quite
So we're all up by the fire. A whole bunch of people just laughing, joking, having a great time. And we hear all this laughing and carrying on coming up the trail. And the 2 Sheiglers are just going nuts. And they're just laughing, and they come up to everybody at the campfire, and everybody's like, what happened? And she's like, she's calling me Uncle Squatch. She's like, Uncle Squatch, we almost bought the farm back there. I'm like, what? Explain yourself. And she said, well, we did something we wasn't supposed to. We went past the stump, the gifting stump. You told us not to go past. And we went about 10 feet past. And here it comes up charging out of the woods. Sticks breaking, big heavy footsteps. OMG. It was over. I thought I was going to die that night.
She thought she was going to become a back scratcher for
Yeah, back scratcher.
That's what little Sheila
That's what she said. So they turned around to take off running, and she tripped on a stick there or something. And the other Sheila turned around and gave her, she's like, go on.
Save yourself.
Save yourself. And Sheila looked up, the other Sheila.
She said, it's coming.
It's coming.
Its eyes, they're twinkling.
And then before you know it, it was right there. She said she could look up, and there he was, at least 10 foot, standing right there, a foot from her. And the other Sheila laying on the ground, the Marine gunnery sergeant. So she picks her up, drags her, literally drags her. And the Biggie's just standing there watching.
Shaking his head.
And they come up to the fire and told us this.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what an amazing story.
Yeah.
And this happened right by my campsite, back at the gifting stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of you people know where that's at.
100 yards from where we built a fire.
Yeah. And I made these ladies a night. They will never forget this night.
No.
The night the forest people came into their life. And they're not the first ones. Ernie's brought a lot of people up there. I brought a lot of people up there. Everybody has a story. It just never ceases. It always goes on. You know, we could go up there tonight and never know what could happen.
Well, with the storm that we've had tonight, I'd say that the energy is high and probably be a really good night to be out there, but we might be a little muddy.
Well, you got that right.
Rob was talking about when he went too far. When he got too close that night, he got that pounding headache.
Yeah, he did.
And Denise, or you actually told him, asked them to help you. Was it you that told him or Denise?
I forgot.
One of y'all told him to ask the forest people to help. And he, kind of shook his head and he said, okay. So he walked off by himself and asked them to help him with his headache and got it was Denise that asked.
Denise, there you go.
He got instant relief from it.
That
Christine
beard.
Marie says that beard is wizard length. There you go. It's Dumbledore right there.
Thank you, Christine. But in enough. There it is.
Look at the lovely shirt. You need one of those.
Yeah,
folks.
The lovely shirt.
Contact Greg Yost.
Yeah, and I can autograph.
Figure out how you can get your own.
Yeah, I'm going to open a SQUATCHMAN store. PM me. I'll get a shirt off to you, Miss Christine Marie.
Yeah. She said she always gets headaches in the occult museum. She got a headache when she was there at the gallows in Salem also. Yeah, some people, the energy of these high energy places or entities,
they're
more sensitive.
Yeah, the more sensitive you are. You get dizzy, all kinds of stuff.
Well, Ryan says, to be honest, he's never been a Bigfoot person, but he's always open-minded when it comes to this stuff, and he would love to experience it. Well, Ryan, like we told you up there at the Battleship, New Jersey, come down here and bring an open mind and just see what happens. We weren't Bigfoot people either till one found us. Trust me.
A lot of his friends came up here with the same thing. Well, we really don't believe in them. Then after they leave, they're like, we believe in them now. It could happen that quick.
Exactly. And Rob says the same till he saw him. There you go. Everybody, all you got to do is come and experience this stuff. We have events where
Brian,
SQUATCHMAN is there.
He said he wants a couple of hey, no problem, buddy.
There you go.
You and your woman, dude. I'll get a couple off to you. Let me know what size you are, Governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, be my honor.
There you go. Denise thought that Rob had COVID because he posted a positive pregnancy test on a group chat earlier today.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, Rob's pregnant. Rob's pregnant. He tested pregnant today.
You better call the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just something that we we're kind of suspected about Rob all along. You know, I don't know. But
Well, when he wasn't the dude on the National Enquiry, I'm carrying Bigfoot's baby.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, where were we going? I was something that Ryan had said had brought up another point that I wanted to make, but I can't think about it right now. So we'll just move on. One of the other questions that we got a couple weeks ago was about why haven't we found a body? Do Bigfoot bury their dead? And
yeah, I went over that a little bit.
Yeah, you touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, I believe they do bury their dead. And I come across a Bigfoot cemetery, 15 different graves from 5 feet to 15 feet, all of them with mounds out of the ground, just like a body would be there. And I've said a prayer at each grave, and I put a flyer on them. And I seen 2 biggies there on each side out in the woods watching me. So it was well protected. So, yeah, God forgive the person that goes in there and tries to dig them up or whatever. It's not going to end too well for you. And I would tell you one thing about the forest people. There's nothing humans could do to stop these creatures. You could just about break anything out on them. Nothing's going to work. They're almost indestructible and they're almost impossible to kill just because they're energy people. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
They can go into your house. They can walk in your house at night right through the wall. They done it here at Ernie's house. They got a footprint down there in their house of a Bigfoot. They can come into your house.
Yep.
So if they were mean, evil people, they would be whacking humans left and right, man.
Exactly, because they're big and strong.
Yeah, but that's not what they're about. They're about love and kindness and protectors of the planet. They want a clean environment.
Brian is asking, could you explain why the forest people constantly leave rocks on his tires? They're gifts, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just gifts, man. And they're letting you know they're there. It's a way of saying hello. Hello, brother. Here's some rocks for you.
Yeah. They left you a really nice assortment of rocks on the gifting.
Yeah, just like rock stacks I find out in the creek all the time. It's just stuff they do that they love making stuff out of rocks. And that's a good way to express themselves, knowing that you know that they're around your area. Mm-hmm. And yeah, by the way, speaking of this dude here, Brian Dennis, he's got the best picture ever of a witch hanging in a tree. I'm not going to say witch, but she kind of looks like a real evil looking something, a woman in a black gown.
Hag.
Hag, yeah, real stringy hair. And she's hanging there in a tree, dude, on his property. And he was just out in his yard taking random pictures one day.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have him. Next time y'all get together, I'm going to have him show it to you.
Yeah, I'll have to see that one.
But
Denise points out we have ferries usually where we see Bigfoot. Now, before you folks laugh, we actually have pictures. And if you read through Bigfoot encounters, reports of Bigfoot, you hear a lot of people talking about seeing orbs in the forest, little orbs of light going around. And that is very common with Bigfoot sightings. Well, Denise, who's always been a believer in fairies, said, what if they're fairies? So we started digging a little deeper and looking a little closer. And I do believe that we do see fairies out there in the forest.
One went right by my head, and Denise pointed it out to me. She goes, that was a fairy. Like a fairy? Yeah, it is.
It was a fairy. Had little legs.
There's a lot out in the forest, people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a lot of good stuff, and there's some bad stuff.
Right. Ryan says, could it be that they aren't actually physical beings like a ghost, but when they have enough energy, they can show themselves and be physical? Ryan, I'll take this first and then turn it over to Squatchman. Ghosts can make a noise without being seen, correct? They can appear as a shadow figure, correct? They can appear as a misty figure, correct? They can appear just as real as you and me, and they can throw stuff across a room. As paranormal investigators, we've all seen this or experienced it or seen evidence of it ourselves. I think that the forest people are identical in that way. They can appear as a full flesh and blood, big old man ape looking thing, the classic appearance of a Bigfoot. They can also appear as a shadow. They can appear as an orb. They can appear as the cloaked version that we call like Predator, that Predator look, or they can be completely invisible. I mean, I think that there's a very close similarity.
Yeah, I truly believe that they're interdimensional time travelers. They can be here, they can be there, they can be everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I'll even go as far as saying I don't even think they're of earthly origin. I do know that they're godly beings, and they do pray to God just like a lot of us do. And so that was one of the the points I had with them. That when I got one on tape saying Yahweh or Yahweh, that was a common denominator. God was in our lives, they're in their lives. Or he shouldn't have said Yahweh, Yahweh, however you pronounce it. So they are godly people. Where they come from, it really doesn't matter to me. I just think with everything they can do, I don't think they're from Earth. There's not an animal on Earth that can do what they can do.
Or if they are of Earth, they're much higher level.
Well, I like to know where they could get everything. I mean, just to run a couple things by y'all, what they could do that you may not be aware of. Well, first of all, we was talking about, they can self-illuminate their eyes, bioluminescent, no reflection whatsoever. They can make them dim, they can make them bright. That's one thing they can do. Number two, what we're talking about, different stages of turning invisible, as well as being flesh and blood. A lot of people say they can't do this. I know they can. I was watching one run up a hill and disappear right in front of my eyes.
And could still hear it.
Yeah, still hear it going up the hill. So I know they can do that. Number three, they can mind speak. We went over that. They can mind speak to people, speaking your language. I've heard this in English and other languages, not just ours. So these beings can speak any language on Earth. Another thing they can do is heal. I've heard so many stories about people being healed and helped by these people, including and not limited to the little boy. Just bringing up this because it's recent. 3 years ago in North Carolina, the boy that got lost right behind his house for 4 days in the freezing cold weather, and yet they found the boy sitting in the field right behind his house 4 days later in a field that they searched a half a dozen times with dogs, people, and helicopters. And the mama asked, how did you survive all this time? A 4-year-old boy, he didn't have a lot of vocabulary, but he did have enough to tell his mom, a big bear took care of me. Okay, a big bear hibernating in the winter was going to wake up and take care of this little baby, but I beg to differ. This big bear would have ate that baby and then went back to sleep. So that big bear was a forest people taking care of that poor little baby and put her back where they would find her, right behind where she got lost at, in which they did.
Yeah.
So It's just some of the things these people can do.
Yep.
And like I said, that's not the first story of them helping people.
No.
I could go on and on and on, but we're on a limited time here. So,
well, it was brought up the last time you were on about forest fires. Why don't the Bigfoot come out of the forest when there's forest fires? Well, okay, here we go. We talked about traveling through portals, traveling through dimensions, all the things that we can't imagine ourselves because we're in 3 dimensions. We're glitching again. I saw that. I saw it that time. That was creepy. We're trapped in a 3-dimensional world. We don't understand these kind of things. But these beings who exist in a different dimension from us, they don't, if there's a forest fire, they can just basically zap themselves somewhere else.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you heard of that one, the volcano where they found Bigfoot's up there dying and whatever.
I heard the story of that.
But we never seen bodies or anything. So, a lot of these are just nothing but stories, man.
Right.
If you don't have evidence like that, how can you believe something like that?
Ryan says, in any origin of why they show themselves as your typical Bigfoot, maybe to blend in with bears and other animals. I'll give you my theory on that before SQUATCHMAN talks. He's probably got more insight than I do, but this is my idea. Cave drawings show Bigfoot. Okay? Back from the time of cavemen. When man was first on Earth, right? They might have looked a lot more like what a Bigfoot looks like. Maybe not as big, but that's more like what they looked like. My thoughts are that maybe they appear, that was the appearance that they chose because that was man. So they wanted to look as much like men as they could. And that is the appearance that they chose at the beginning. They didn't evolve because they're not a physical being. So they still appear that way. That's my thought.
Yeah, and or if that's what they looked like on their planet. I mean, if they had their own planet. Yeah, I mean, I got news for people. Earth is not the only planet
that has
in
life.
The universe that has life on it. And I have basically been told by the people why they left their planet. They came here to look for gold to run their filtering plants and systems on their planet because their planet was being destroyed. Due to what reasons? That remains a mystery. But after so many times of trying to get all this gold to keep their stuff running good on their planet, they decided just to come to Earth and just call Earth their home. And that's why they got all these fires. They're going interdimensional through portals. I don't know if their planet is still there. But from what I understand, all their people have come from their planet to Earth. And they don't want humans to know they're here. They hide in the forest. There are a lot of people they don't like. They like kind-hearted, good-hearted, loving people. That's who they seek. And like Ernie said before, you can go out in the forest, look for Bigfoot all you want, but you don't do it that way. You go out in the forest, you find stuff that they make, admire what they do, and eventually, if Bigfoot feels you're worthy of them, they would show themselves to you. They would make it known to you that they do exist, and they're out there. Every time you're out there, they're watching you. They're seeing what kind of person you are. They're filling you out. And then again, if they feel you're worthy, you're gonna have a relationship with them. Yeah. And mine started out like that, and it keeps getting better and better and better to where all I want to do is walk shoulder to shoulder with one. I want to talk to him. I want to pick his brain. I want to meet his family. I want to break bread with him. Yeah, enough of all this. speculation and all
I
that.
cast a footprint.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear from the horse's mouth. And that is why I'm in this. I could care less about evidence. I could care less about the TV shows, being rich and famous. Yeah, I'm very popular because a lot of people know I speak the truth.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And there's not a lot of people like me. Excuse me. But, yeah, go ahead, man.
Get you a drink.
Sorry about that.
He's done talked his voice out. Copper Mountain Critter Project asks, how about whistling? Have you heard it? They say, we've heard one at the top of a mountain in Connecticut that sounded like a police car siren at its loudest level, maybe 5 seconds long. I've heard that.
Yep.
We have heard that in your forest for sure.
Yep.
We heard it at Jefferson Memorial Forest when we were up there doing a live stream one night. Yeah, I have heard that. And I think that's just a way of communicating. I mean, and they've communicated when we've been around.
Hey, like Bob said right there, we were breaking through.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we are, man. We're breaking the veil. We're getting to the bottom of this, man. And I mean, Bob knows as good as anybody all the stuff that happens.
Denise, yes, the dog did fart again. I do believe he is choking on dog farts. That is true. There's T-Dog in the house. Yeah,
T-Dog.
Everything you've heard about us is true.
Because Vicky.
There's a lot of cool stuff here.
Yeah,
hello, Vicky. Hello, everybody over here. Denise says it's all lies, but no.
But yeah, back to what the question was. Yeah, Bigfoots can do a lot of stuff people couldn't even fathom. Hello,
Jonice is back.
Jonice, good to see you.
Jonice, I know you were on our podcast the last time that SQUATCHMAN was here. I don't know if you've followed him in the past, but you need to try to make it to an event that he's at and experience it for yourself, because it's an amazing kind of spiritual experience, as a lot of people have described it. Vicky asks, what's been your latest encounter?
Well, speaking of what just happened earlier, right before we went on, we've been getting a bad lightning storm and a lot of rain. And, I got a bad habit of smoking. And Ernie don't allow me to smoke in his house, which is cool. I don't even smoke in my house. So, but anyway, I was out in my car, which is parked right out in front of his living room, and he had the lights on in there. And for you people that don't know, Ernie lives in the most haunted house in Kentucky, him and Denise. The Ditto House. It's on the record books, 1841? That's when it was built. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very historic house. As you can see back here, we're in the house now. Very historic house. So anyway, I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, looking in the windows there, and I seen a lady in a peach dress go, about like that, just fly by the windows from the fireplace into the steps. And I'm sitting there going, what did I just see? And it was outside lightning, pouring down rain, but he's got really clear windows. I mean, I'm right in front of the windows, and I know what I seen. And about the question, it's
what's been your latest encounter? What about with the
forest people?
I know you've been taking a lot of walks through the forest here lately.
Yeah, I've been finding a lot of stuff. I ain't been getting out much, man, because it's been a cold, hard winter up here.
Yeah,
and I'm getting old. I don't like getting cold anymore. But I will say the last time we were at Fort Duffield, which was a couple months ago, there was a lot going on over there, and I was a real happy camper. I called Big Red in. Todd Eskew got a real good picture of him.
Yeah.
Two big red glowing eyes right out in the woods. A bunch of people there that's never seen eye glow. We probably had a half a dozen children down there with all green eyes, all glowing. And this is what I live for. I like to see people get excited and see the stuff that I see. And I draw them in to let the people see this.
Have you ever been frightened so much that you didn't know if you'd make it back home in one piece?
That looks like
Maybe,
Sandy.
I believe that might be Sandy disguising herself as the queen.
No, well, Sandy, they're big, they're scary, they make a lot of noise. But I have
the
never.
Ferdinand charge now.
Yeah, that was kind of scary because that was the first
That was
time.
their first encounter.
But I did stand up to him. I stood up to him.
You were shaking.
I think I earned their respect that night.
You were shaking holding that 45.
Kind of. But hey, it was a trip. I mean, yeah, the first time you have an encounter like I did, it would rattle most men. Most men probably would have run off. I stood up to this guy, and I think that's what I earned my respect with him, because most people wouldn't. And but from there on out, I haven't been. No, if anything, I feel like they protect me.
I feel like it's a gift every time we have an encounter.
Yeah, it is. And there's evil out in the forest. There's some evil stuff out there, and I think the biggies help me and guide me, around and through the evil. I mean, you got to remember David Pilates, missing 411. 6,000 people a year are missing out of forest without a clue. Nobody knows where all these people are going. They try to blame the Bigfoots on them. Well, I got news, Sandy. The Bigfoots ain't getting these people. A lot of things could be happening. They could be walking through portals. They could be walking through tears in the dimensions that are right next to each other. They could walk right out of our dimension into another one, never to find their way back. Where are they going? I have no idea. I mean, we live in a 3-dimensional world. Who to say they don't live in a 4D, 5D, 6?
Yeah.
It could go on and on and on. There's all kinds of dimensions out there. So no, but I'm not afraid of the biggies. I had to overcome my fear if I was going to get anywhere with them. You cannot be afraid of something you seek. And I have come up right behind my tent at 3 o'clock in the morning saying my name like this. Greg! Yeah, that rattled me. And I stood there like this, standing on my elbows like, what was that? And I'm like, you're hearing things, dude. You're hearing things. About 30 seconds later, Greg! And I was too scared to say anything. I didn't answer back. I kick myself almost every day because I didn't answer back.
Yeah.
I had my chance. I could have had that conversation. And it would never happen again if he ever calls me out again. Yes, sir.
What's up?
Officer Yost ready for duty. But I hope I answered your question, Queen.
I think you did. Jonice says they smell. Sometimes good and sometimes bad. More often than not, they smell like a dirty horse stall.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, they don't smell up in our forest. I smelled them one time they smelled. So I think it's just something that they can do or they can do.
I think it's part of a self-defense.
Yeah, it could be.
Predators away.
It could be to let you know that they're there. Like they did to Bob and his wife that time. They walked through the camp invisible and everybody smelled them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do have a way connecting to him, Vicky, and that is my gift.
He's a one of a kind, treasure in that way.
I mean, and Ernie has seen this firsthand. Bob has, a lot of people have. Tim, multiple eyes in the woods.
Yep.
Yeah, some of Ernie's friends he brought up, I remember, that night, the girls got charged. The two,
Sheila's.
yeah, the two Sheilas. His friends were back there going, look at it back there. It looks like Christmas time is all lit up.
Yeah.
They're talking about
In
all
the
the
middle
different,
of the forest.
yeah, all the different colored lights. Yeah, they were all eye shine or eye glow.
Yeah. Queen says that I believe it's Sandy trying to pretend like she's says they talk about people being missing in the forest for like 8 to 10 years, and then they just come walking out like they just went for a hike. And that's true. I mean,
yeah, that could happen too.
Rob, I smell great though. Yes, you can smell me from a fair distance, but I smell great. Vicky saw the eye shine last year at the Bell Witch Cave when you were there.
Exactly. It seems like wherever I go, they follow me. Just like up at the fort.
Yep.
Bob, yes, the greenish eye shine. Yeah, all the time.
You took that trip up to, where was it? Pennsylvania?
Yes.
And had them walk up to your motel window?
Yes. Yeah, I'll tell that story real quick. Yeah, I went to Titusville, Pennsylvania to do a TV show up there at Cryptovania. Yeah, a spin-off of Pennsylvania, Cryptovania. And they picked me up in a motel room. And it was in late April, man, but this is up by Lake Erie. And it was snowing that night. I got in town. And they were going to pick me up at the motel that morning, like 7 in the morning, and started filming. And I looked out the window, and there was footprints all over my window down on the ground. And there was 3 trackways coming from the mountain up there. So I went outside. And 3 Bigfoots walked up to my motel window. They got there, they couldn't believe it. And then they filmed it and everything. And guess what? When they went back to the studio, everything got erased. And then they went back, the snow was melting, and the tracks got
distorted.
Yeah, breached, so they wasn't any good. And they came right to my windows. It was down a mountain, over a creek, through an abandoned lumber mill, through a field, right on the edge of town, right up to my motel window. This was a whole row of rooms, and my room was the last room at the end of this motel here. And they walked right up to my window, and I even heard the window bump. So I started feeling that energy that I feel when the Bigfoot people are around. I feel an energy. So I opened up the curtains, and there wasn't nothing there. But I found it the next morning, man. And I mean, if that ain't epic, man, I don't know what to tell you.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool, man.
And even when you went out to you were at the Montana Vortex.
Yeah, that too. You seen them.
And didn't you have Big Red out there? Washington State?
Yes, he follows me everywhere. And Tim wants to know what state. That's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think he's referring to Donice's question.
Yeah, it was Titusville, Pennsylvania, where this happened. We're right up there by Lake Erie, where they get over 200 inches of snow a year.
That's too much.
That's too much.
That's too much. Well, we're about at an hour. I can go a little bit longer. You want to go a little longer?
I have no.
I got to be at work in the morning, but we got. I mean, still going here. I mean, we got more we can talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is March Madness month. Let's get mad.
Yeah, I'm already mad. I was mad a long time ago when the seedings came out, but we won't talk.
Jonas, do you ever come to
Shoahari County? That's a crazy name for a county.
Never heard of it.
I think that's in Pennsylvania.
Is it?
Yeah, but I don't know if I've ever been to that county. I've been through towns in Pennsylvania.
Well, she said she lives in a very haunted place.
Yeah.
Hey, they live in the most haunted house in Kentucky.
Yeah, this is a pretty haunted place here.
Hey, they love ghosts.
It's in New York. Okay.
New York, okay.
No, I have not spent a lot of time in New York. I've been through New York, but have not spent a lot of time up there. but we do go up to Newport, Rhode Island every couple of years or so, and we'll probably be going back. We go to Salem and hit a lot of places up in the Northeast. So we'll probably be back up that way sometime, but I don't know when. Spirit Squatches and Stories Around the Campfire, folks, is this coming weekend right here at Fort Duffield, which is like a quarter mile that way. And it's $50 a person. We have a cookout, build a fire, sit around the campfire. Squatch Man will talk, answer your questions, tell you stories. There's Sarah in the house. Hello, Miss Sarah. Hope you're healing good. I hope your port is doing good. But we've still got tickets available for that. You can go to extremeticketing.com/Packman and get your tickets. And you might just very well have one of the experiences that we've been talking about tonight. May 31st, Get Haunted has the trifecta event that they're doing up at Fort Duffield. And we got a cookout here at the house, at the Ditto House, in conjunction with that still has some spots available. Squatchman will be a part of that. We're going to have Christopher Lee Jansen. We're going to have the Black Wolf Paranormal, Todd and Leanne Eskew. Rob and Sarah from Get Haunted. The whole Get Haunted gang is going to be in town. That's going to be a great time. We've got some.
The triple trifecta.
The trifecta is going to be.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be off the chain. I mean, that's going to be a really good one.
So where else could you see a Bigfoot, a ghost, and a UFO all at the same place?
Right. And me and you. You know? I mean, think about it.
Well,
that's worth the price of admission.
What about Rob? He probably already.
They don't care about seeing Rob. Nobody cares about seeing Rob. Sarah, maybe.
Like
people like yeah. Yeah, like Bob says here, get out in the forest before the leaves all come out. It's a lot easier to find structures, and you can see forever. And
yeah. Speaking of this,
eye shine, all of that.
Yeah, one of the first ones that Ernie had. We're out there back when he had the cookout before we went up there. Night cooks out here and brings it up to the fort. We're all standing there, man. Ernie's making hamburgers and everything. And there's people that are asking me about eye glow. So I look up behind Ernie up there in the forest, and I see a tall eye glow and a smaller one right in front of her, like she's holding the baby's shoulders. And she had eye glow. So I'm like, look, everybody, there's an eye glow right up there. So I had all these people still thanking me, going, hey, man, we have never seen eye glow before. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And that was before we even got started. I mean, he was just talking. I mean, I was still grilling burgers, and he's just talking to people about eye shine.
Yeah, just looked up.
And there it was right there. It's like, there you go. That's what I'm talking about when I say eye shine. There it is.
Yeah, and I can't wait to meet you either, Kaylee. I hope that's how you say it.
It's Kaylee.
Hey, right on.
Yep. She will be here for the trifecta.
Awesome.
We got a lot of folks coming to that. We got, like I say, we got quite a few people coming this weekend. We still got room for more. Get your tickets while you can.
We got people come back every, you got about 6 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have people come, every month or so.
Yeah, every couple of months.
Yeah, we got people coming to every one of them, and they have such a good time.
Yeah, there's people that have bought tickets to the first one, and now we can't get rid of them.
Can't get rid of them.
Because they have a good time.
Yeah, they love it.
I think they just like hanging out with Greg. That's probably what it is.
Well, you know.
I mean, look at this guy. You know? I mean, can you blame them?
Look at all these great people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a good time, man, with all these people.
Yeah. We need to get some more of you to get some tickets. Brian says he enjoyed the show. It's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, send me a message, Alabama Governor. I'll get them shirts out to you, man.
Yeah, Jonice, we are in Kentucky, West Point, Kentucky, right between Louisville and Fort Knox. May 31st, T-Dog. That's when the trifecta is.
Yeah, you better come, man. We've got another tree we're going to lock you up to.
Yeah, we chained him to a tree at the last Spirit Squatch.
Yeah, what a brave individual that T-Dog is.
He's not brave. He's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's not brave. He's just crazy. But anyway.
Hey, thank you, Vicky.
She's just sucking up.
I had to
I don't know what she wants. She's sucking up though.
I had a good time hanging with her down there at
Vicky's
the
good
Bellwitch.
people.
Yeah, she's good
She's
people.
good people. One of our dear friends. She was at our wedding.
Yeah, she told me.
See there?
Yeah, she said.
You weren't there though.
Yeah, I had one dude from Cincinnati never picked me up, remember?
That's right.
Yeah, I was waiting and waiting. Hey, where's that guy at?
Yeah,
Oh, he went right by you, dude.
He's in Franklin. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone, man. yeah, went by me, man. Like, Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Blowing down the road, you know.
Well, folks, we appreciate everyone that tuned in, everyone that chimed in here in the chat. I'll be back next week. Denise, I might be able to drag Denise back. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're going to do another show, though. We're not done doing shows, so there.
Yeah, I hope all your questions got answered.
And if not, just let us know, and we'll bring him back.
Yeah, you know, I mean, nobody knows everything about the Bigfoots. It's been a mystery for beginning of since they come around, and it's still a mystery. Not much has been answered, and a lot of people might say I'm crazy or full of you know what for what I say and what I do. But until you hang out with me and walk in my shoes with me and find out what I'm all about, will you finally realize that I'm not? And
well, he's a little crazy. He is a little crazy, but he's right.
But I'm right, yeah. Well, to do what we do, man, you got to be a little crazy.
Exactly.
Normal people don't do this.
No, normal people be scared.
No, normal people will sit back there and go, look, them two guys are fucking crazy.
We have children watching.
It's
too late for kids. If your kids are still up watching this, you're a bad parent. So they deserve to hear the F-bomb. Anyway.
Hey, Bob. Hey, thank you for watching, Bob, Tim, all my friends on there, Vicky, Joanne.
Eric, Rob, Jonice, T-Dog, all you people. Stephen Kameth is going to be it. Sarah, the boss lady.
Yeah, the Get Haunted, the boss lady.
Exactly.
Yeah,
everybody that tuned in tonight, we appreciate y'all. We love you. We'll be back again with another show. Come and see us at one of the events that the SQUATCHMAN is at. Like I say, we got one coming up next weekend, next Saturday night, 7 to 2, $50 a person.
And you still have tickets left, right?
Still got tickets available. Don't miss your chance, folks.
But the best part is that this man's hamburgers.
They're the best hamburgers in the whole world.
Burger King, McDonald's.
Nah. You want a good burger, you come to one of our events, by golly.
Gourmet.
Exactly.
And a shout out to Denise. She makes marinara sauce. She soaks them in all night. I mean, how many people do that when you make hamburgers?
Exactly.
Most people take it out of the pack.
There it is.
There it is.
No.
We'll see you next weekend.
Or
Denise
at the Trifecta.
Ticket sales
end on Thursday night. That's right, because we got to.
Thanks, Denise. We forgot
how many of those burgers that we got to make. So we got to cut the ticket sales off a couple days ahead of time. So go to the grocery.
Queen Sandy, we had a great night, man. I'm glad everybody.
Great having you in here.
Great having you.
I'm gonna quit talking, if you will, and we'll end this thing. All right. We're getting out of here, folks. We really are. We are. We're getting out of here.
Peace out.